Hello and welcome to No Rest for the Weekend. I'm Jason Godbey here with part 2 of our series of episodes recapping this year's Tribeca Festival. We're starting this one off with a bang, but first, here's a quick word from our sponsors.
No Rest for the Weekend's coverage of the Tribeca Film Festival is sponsored by Black Magic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. blackmagicdesign.com.
Bang Bang is a new drama starring Tim Blake Nelson in the titular role. Nelson plays a boxer whose life is turned upside down when his estranged daughter drops her teenage son on his doorstep. We were there on the red carpet for the film's world premiere to speak with Tim Blake Nelson, director Vincent Grashaw, and stars Erica Gimpel, Andrew Liner, Glenn Plummer, and special guest Lou Diamond Phillips. I'm here with Erica Gimpel. Erica, welcome to Tribeca. How does this feel to be premiering a movie here?
It feels very exciting. This is my hometown. I'm born and raised in Manhattan, so, there's no place like home, and to screen a film here is a dream.
So, you got to tell me about your role in the film.
I play Sharon. I'm actually a cancer survivor. I have my own bar that I run, and I'm a singer. And myself and Bang Bang, we were high school sweethearts, and we reconnect after many years. And it's what I love about what our relationship explores is, how life can really hit us with a lot of things, and we wear our wounds either on the inside or on the outside. His character and my character are wearing our wounds on the outside, and then we have a moment of being able to come together for a moment of solace in life. So it's really about honoring the warriors, the people who fight those unseen battles that are difficult to fight, but we are all warriors in that way. Challenges throw us, challenge.
That sounds profound. You're about to see this with an audience. Have you seen the movie yet?
Not with an audience. So I'm really excited to see that. That's a whole other experience when it's that way.
Are you one of those actors that doesn't like to watch yourself?
No, because I look at it more from I'm looking at my art, so it's like I can look at it objectively. So I look forward to learning, and I keep growing every time I see myself in my work. So
fantastic. Are you in anything that we should look for coming out soon?
Well, there's a couple things I can't talk about yet, but the thing I want to press is that I'm in development for my own film, which is called Rise, that I'm writing, directing, and starring in. So look out for that. Look out for that.
I'm here with one of the film stars, Andrew Liner. Andrew, you're here at Tribeca, my friend. You've arrived. How does that feel?
It's amazing. It's my first film festival. Yeah, I know. So I'm just over the moon.
First film festival ever?
Ever. Yep.
Well, you hit the jackpot, my friend. So tell us about your role in the film.
I played Justin Thompson, Bang Bang's grandson, and he is brash, and he's trying to find himself, and he kind of finds himself through Bang. They give each other purpose, and he's a boxer.
Did you study boxing at all, or get into it that way?
Yeah, I boxed a lot growing up, and then I had a month in preparation for the film, so I did a little month intensive, and boxed a little bit out there when we were filming, and so it's within me, boxing, I'd say.
Fantastic. And what can we look for you coming up soon?
I'm doing a show called Ransom Canyon for Netflix, and I finished a movie called Please Don't Feed the Children, directed by Destry Spielberg. It's her directorial debut, so a lot of exciting stuff.
I'm here with Glenn Plummer, one of the film stars. Glenn, you're at Tribeca. How does this feel, man?
Tribeca Film Festival, my first time. I love it. I'm still waiting for it to hit me, actually, because I come to New York all the time. I'm back and forth. Even on my other job, I come to New York. But the thing is that this is my first time for Tribeca Film Festival, and I think I'm enjoying it a lot.
So tell us about your role in the film.
I play Darnell Washington. I am the nemesis, the catalyst for all the pain and hurt in this movie. I can't say too much more because I don't want to, no spoilers here coming out of my mouth today. If you really want to know what I do in this movie, guess what?
Is this your first time seeing it with an audience?
My first time seeing it, period.
Wow. So what's your anticipation? What do you want people to walk away?
I'm kind of nervous. And I hope people love the movie first and foremost, Secondly, I hope they love me to death. Thirdly, if there's any executive producers, studio people out there, you know where I am.
I'm here with the one and only Lou Diamond Phillips. Lou, welcome to Tribeca. You've probably been here before, but how does this feel to be on the red carpet here?
I'm thrilled. I mean, first of all, to be, appearing at the Tribeca Film Festival. I'm a co-owner of the Tribeca Grill. A long history, with the organization. So always really proud to support. But today I'm thrilled because I'm here in support of Bang Bang. My old friend Glenn Plummer, Tim Blake Nelson, and the director Vincent Grashaw. I just did a film with him, and it was an amazing experience. That film is wonderful. And to prepare for that film, I watched this film and was blown away. And I thought, oh my gosh, I'm thrilled to be working with this man. So happy to be in town. I'm a New Yorker now, and thrilled to come out to support.
Is that your next project? What can we look for you in?
Actually, I've got a few things coming. I'm literally going to LA next week for the LA IFS Film Festival. They're giving me Best Actor. I don't know why. For a lovely little film called Atsuko. This is doing the festival circuit. Keep Quiet has been submitted to a bunch. And then I have a wonderful, crazy horror film with Frank Grillo coming out December 6th called Werewolves. Guess what it's about?
Vincent, you're premiering here at Tribeca. What does this feel like, man?
First time at Tribeca. I mean, I've done a lot of festivals, and this one is definitely it's awesome because in a funny way, you're used to festivals kind of taking over a city, and in New York, it's like you can't actually take over New York, and so you have these great festivals and screenings, and you come outside, and everybody's like on a mission, and so in a cool way, it's kind of humbling, and so you come in and just really, I mean, everyone's here. We're really excited about what we have, and just excited. It's a very New York type film, so we're excited for an audience here to see it.
What's your anticipation seeing the film here with an audience?
I don't think they're going to expect it because boxing is the theater of the unexpected, and this kind of dabbles in that for sure. It's a real character study on what a boxer's left with post career, later in life, decades later, when they were famous in the 80s,
And where can we find out more about the film, distributions, theatrical run, that kind of thing?
Yeah, I mean, our goal is to sell it here. This is our world premiere, so we have several other film festivals that are coming after this. I can't really announce yet, but yeah, the goal is to sell it at this festival, hopefully. So.
All right, man, we'll look for it. Thank you so much. I'm here with the film star, Tim Blake Nelson. Tim, I got to ask you, you're here at Tribeca. How does this feel, man, be premiering a movie here?
Well, I've premiered movies here in the past, both as an actor and as a filmmaker, and it's a great festival. Thanks to Jane Rosenthal and Robert De Niro for creating what this is and sustaining it now for, I think, 20 years. And I'm proud every time I can walk one of these red carpets in whatever capacity.
So I got to ask you, what attracted you to this project?
It was a beautifully written script by Will Janowitz, who's standing right over here. And I trusted the director, and so I wanted to take on an incredibly challenging role that was well written, and I was going to have some good guidance.
What for you? I mean, you're about to see it with an audience. Are you one of those actors that doesn't like to watch yourself, or?
Yeah, I mean, it's a mix. This is what I wanted to do with my life, and so I have had to learn to enjoy sitting in an audience and watching myself and not being too critical the way that we all are. So I'm growing to look at these events as celebrations.
Fantastic.
That's the way I'll be looking at it tonight.
All right, and I've got to ask you the obligatory, you're returning to the MCU next year, Captain America. You probably can't tell me much of anything, but first of all, how does it feel to be returning to that universe?
I'm really excited about what Marvel has come up with for this character. Kevin Feige and Nate Moore and Kiana and Julius Onah and the team at Marvel making this movie. They've treated the character really well, and I'm just glad that they've brought me back, and I think people are going to be pretty excited by what we're up to.
Can you tell us, like, are you the big bad in this one, or just one of many?
I don't know if I'm allowed to say, but I definitely have a presence in the movie. I'll put it that way. You won't be able to miss Samuel Stearns.
All right, you heard it here first. Tim Blake Nelson may or may not be the big bad in the new Captain America Brave New World. I asked him about it, and he didn't quite say no, so make of that what you will. Group Therapy is a new documentary about some of the funniest names in comedy discussing their personal struggles with mental health in a group therapy session. Our own Eric McClanahan was on the red carpet with the film's subjects Atsuko Okatsuka, London Hughes, and Gary Gullman, along with director Neil Berkeley.
Now, prior to this, I think the last film you did was Gilbert, is that correct? So will you ever do a film not about comedians after this?
When you make something about someone that's funny, which my first two films were about Dan Harmon and Wayne White, and they're funny people, they assume I'm funny. And so yes, probably, because that seems to be what I've been tagged with, but I'm open to sports and rock and roll and other stories.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, funny sports and funny rock and roll?
Only if they're funny, yeah. Weird Al Yankovic and yeah.
Yeah, we'll get Tenacious D on the phone.
Yeah.
Now, on the tip sheet, Neil Patrick Harris is listed as actor and comedian. I think that's thanks to you. Did you open a new door for this man?
Honestly, it's a side of him that I've never seen before. It is really cool. Like, usually he's the subject of these things. In this, he's the host of the night, of the thing, and the moderator. He's amazing. Like, he just kind of guided everyone through this really wonderful conversation.
Was there a Doogie Howser, MD, inspiration behind this?
Yeah, there's a little fanboy there, yeah. I was thrilled to see him on the call sheet.
Now, you partnered with Heartbeat Productions for this film. Did they enable you to get some of the access that you were looking for with these comedians? Did you hand select them, or did they help with that process?
They helped endlessly. I mean, they're the reason we got, Kevin Hart comes with a lot of cachet. And just that name alone got people like Gary to say, to trust us, to trust that we would honor their story and be faithful to it.
What was your initial reaction when you were invited to be part of this conversation on the intersection of mental health and comedy?
Yeah, I said, oh, they finally did it. They got the 6 most mentally ill comedians to come together to Atlanta to pour their hearts out. We're going to get exposed. But no, I was really stoked that I got to be with my fellow comedians whom I really love, friends and colleagues. And that's what draws me to a project is the people. And then, it's a topic that I'm a huge advocate of. I've talked about it in the past. My mom has mental illnesses. She has schizophrenia. And it's something I've seen her suffer through all my life. And so, yeah, I was glad that we were going to be able to show different aspects of our lives as comedians, not just the ones that are clowns and make you laugh.
You get contacted by the casting director. It says, hey, we're making this film about the intersection of mental health and stand-up comedy. Do you want to be involved? What is your initial reaction?
My initial reaction is, we are in a strike. You mean you're paying me to be on camera with my peers and talk about myself? Yes, please. That is literally the reaction.
There was no anger or like, wait, why do you think I have something to speak about that?
Honestly, no, because I believe every comedian is mentally ill. So I don't think we're like the most mentally ill ones. We're just like the coolest and fun ones. But every single comedian in the world is mentally ill. To want to go on stage and say, hey, strangers, not only do I want you to like me, I want you to laugh at me. That is weird. We're all weird. So I don't take offense.
I know that in America, we have a very America-centric view about the way we view health, public health, mental health. What would this film look like if it were made in England?
It wouldn't need to be made because we have free healthcare in England, which means that if people are ill, they can get the resources they need for free. So we wouldn't need this. in England.
Do you think they would be as forthcoming and as admitting about how they're feeling?
Oh no, Brit, we don't know. We don't talk about our business. No, we don't do that. No. Our motto is keep calm and carry on. So, no. If this wouldn't exist, honestly, there would be no film about stand-ups in the UK openly talking about mental health. No. No one would want to do it. And they wouldn't need to because we have free healthcare. America, get it together.
Thank you for that. Do you hope that anyone back home who sees the film will think that these conversations can be more open amongst their peers?
I do. I hope that I change the whole world based on what I said in this documentary. I talk a lot about the British comedy scene, and can I swear?
Absolutely.
I'm gonna piss some people off. I'm not gonna lie. Piss is a swear word in England, so I'm gonna ruffle a few feathers. But I didn't lie. There's nothing that I said that wasn't true, and they might not like to hear the truth, but it is the truth. So I'm happy I got to say it. I'm happy I'm in the position that I can talk about what's wrong with the UK comedy scene, in the UK entertainment scene in terms of racism and sexism. And I'm lucky that I live in America and I have amazing people in my life like Heartbeat and all these amazing comedians that have given me this platform that I can shine a light on what's going on to help all my friends back in the UK. Because women are funny and women of colour are funny. And England, I'm not sure, realises that yet, which is why I live in America. So, I'm just glad I got to tell my story.
Now, did you meet anyone on this film set that has become a lifelong friend?
Honestly, everyone here is... I mean, I knew everybody before. Because we're comics, we're colleagues. But getting to know these people, they're all lifelong friends. I knew Atsuko before and Nicole Byer before. We'd hang out and partied before. Tig, I was experiencing Tig for the first time and I bloody loved it. And this guy, Gary, and Mike. And so, I feel like I know too much of their business now. I know their deepest, darkest secrets. Like, we might as well get married. Like, I'm in the family now. So, lifelong friends.
Neil Patrick Harris isn't already an ordained minister. He needs to be one and marry all of you.
I haven't spoken about Neil. He's so sexy. Oh my God. So, I was starstruck when he walked on. And I kept flirting with him and forgetting that he was gay because he's so charming. And I kind of didn't want to talk about I'm like, don't ask me about me, Neil. Neil, stop it.
Oh my God. No, I can't tell you that.
Tell you about my anxiety. Yeah. So he's great. He's great.
Your inclusion in the film, the admissions you make in the therapy session, they're not especially revelatory as a guy who puts out a special called The Great Depression. But what did you feel you brought to the authenticity of allowing the others to admit their struggles or their understanding of mental health?
I think it was something that I felt when I would go to literal group therapy, not filmed, but with a group of people who all we had in common was that we were hugely depressed and or anxious, and yet that was so much to be able to have that knowledge and understanding, and I think people are understanding of it. A lot of people are, but a lot of people don't understand it. They don't know what we've gone through, and so to be with some people who've been through it, that was very helpful. So when I feel like when I go to those group therapy meetings, there are some people who feel like, oh, I don't belong here, I'm not that sick. And then there are other people who, like me, I'm like, I'm really sick. I hope I don't freak these people out. So I think in some places I felt like, oh, I've really been through it and that I was hospitalized, and so maybe it'll make these people feel less anxious about sharing something that maybe they didn't want to share, because look, Gary Gullman talked about being in the bug house. So
right.
Yeah.
You mentioned that you moved back to your hometown and into the house where subsequently your mother happens to be. And you found a great space where you can work through a lot of your new material, and you're getting good feedback from the audience.
Yeah.
What was it like doing this film and getting feedback from people who do what you do with other comedians?
I think sometimes you worry that your work is not appreciated by your peers, or that your peers are dismissive of what you do. I mean, it's the whole imposter syndrome that a lot of performers feel, and especially people who are depressed and anxious. So it was really nice just to get some positive feedback and to make these people who have made me laugh so much, to make them laugh. And that was really reassuring and reinforced sort of my idea that
my special was not just for people suffering, but also that people who understand comedy could enjoy it too, which is always part of my intentions, is that comedians think it's quality work, which is kind of sad, but also probably human.
The film makes a lot of statements on its own, but if you were to supplement that with a statement of your own about the way people are viewing their mental health and the peaks and valleys of it, what nugget of truth would you take away from this?
I mean, two things I always think about is that you're not alone with this, and you shouldn't. And if you feel you are alone, just open up about it, and you'll see how common it is, and whether it's the person directly or somebody's son, daughter, or parent, or loved one, or just themselves, they've experienced it, and they're much more forgiving. And I also think some people are afraid they'll lose friendships or connections by freaking people out, but in a lot of cases it's the opposite, and your relationships become deeper and stronger. So I would say most of us have tried keeping it to ourselves, and that doesn't work. So try opening up about it. It was dramatically helpful for me.
Mastermind, To Think Like a Killer, is the new docuseries about Dr. Ann Burgess, a psychiatric nurse who's responsible for developing some of the techniques used to capture some of the most infamous killers in history. Here's director Abigail Fuller, executive producer Dakota Fanning, and Dr. Ann Burgess at the series premiere.
Yeah, Dr. Burgess' story has never been told before. Criminal profiling is something that has really become a part of our social consciousness, our definitely in terms of the entertainment we see. But the woman who's actually the mastermind who actually developed profiling has never told her story before, mostly because she's a woman, and this happened in the 70s and 80s. So you can imagine why she never really got the credit that she deserved. So we're going to set the record straight and share her story now.
When I made The Alienist, I sort of was thinking about the beginning of profiling. You know, that's kind of what an alienist was, as a psychologist, and that was a piece of that puzzle, and obviously a scripted series. So it's a space that I've always been interested in. I love true crime. I love, studying behavior, and so, knowing about Dr. Burgess and being approached to kind of partner on this project was so exciting because, she's responsible for so many things that are still being used today, and the work that she did, not just with, serial killers and flashy names that people have heard of, but also with the survivors and victims. And I wanted to, that's as important to her as the other things that she's done, but she's done so much that's still being used, and I just want everyone to know about her if they didn't already.
Having this story told for the first time, what did that mean to you?
Well, it was very gratifying to have it done. We often don't get that opportunity, certainly those of us in nursing, and so I really felt it was an honor to be able to get this story out, and it's been useful. Certainly has had a lot of critics, but it's been very useful, so let's hope that it moved the field forward.
And that's all the time we have for today. Thanks so much for taking this trip down the rabbit hole. For more of our content, including more film festival coverage, visit NoRestForTheWeekendPodcast.com. Don't forget to subscribe on your favorite podcast platform or on YouTube, youtube.com/GetBehindTheRabbit. I'd like to thank everyone who came out to chat with us at Tribeca this year, and a big thanks to our sponsor, Black Magic Design. For Behind the Rabbit Productions, I'm Jason Godbey. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.
This is the BTRP Media Network.